Welcome to our channel. Today, we will follow the brave Japanese fishermen on the challenging journey to catch giant Dungeness crabs and snow crabs, precious delicacies from the ocean. You will witness the whole process, from the moment the dawn breaks on the harbor, until the fresh batches of crabs are brought ashore and transformed into attractive dishes. Join me in the life of the children of the sea. Explore the majestic beauty of the ocean and learn more about the value of what nature has to offer. Let's get started. As dawn breaks, the harbor is bustling with footsteps and the sound of machinery. Experienced fishermen, with sharp eyes and tanned skin, are busy preparing for the trip. They check their nets, arrange the containers, and make sure all the equipment is working smoothly. The early morning air is filled with the salty smell of the sea, mixed with the excitement and determination of those about to face the vast ocean. Each boat is fully equipped, from modern navigation systems to specially designed crab cages. They understand that, to have quality crab catches, careful preparation is the key factor. Once everything is ready, the ship's whistle sounds, signaling the beginning of a new trip. The boats gradually leave the dock, cutting through the waves to the sea, carrying with them the hope of a bountiful harvest. The journey to sea is a race against time and natural conditions. Fishermen must locate potential fishing grounds, where Dungeness crab and snow crab live most. Normally, Dungeness crab prefers sandy or muddy bottoms at moderate depths, while snow crab lives in colder, deeper waters. With the help of modern sonar equipment, they determine the exact location to drop the cages. The cages are carefully placed on the seabed, with special bait inside to attract crabs. This is a job that requires patience and experience, because placing the cages in the right position will determine the success of the trip. After a period of waiting, usually several hours or overnight, the fishermen begin the process of pulling the cages up. This is when the excitement reaches its peak. With the power of the winch, each heavy cage is pulled out of the water. As the crab cages emerge, the fishermen's eyes are glued to what is inside. Joy breaks out when Dungeness crabs with their characteristic colors and snow crabs with long, slender, white legs fill the compartments. However, not all crabs are kept. Japanese fishermen always strictly follow regulations on size and gender to ensure the sustainable development of aquatic resources. Crabs that are too small or female crabs carrying eggs are released back into the sea, so that they can reproduce and maintain the population. This is an admirable cultural trait. Demonstrating their respect for nature. When the fresh batches of crabs are brought to the deck, the sorting and preservation work takes place quickly. The crabs are carefully inspected, cleaned and then transferred to special containers with seawater or ice to keep the crabs alive and as fresh as possible during the journey back to port. Proper preservation is extremely important to ensure the quality of the crabs when they reach consumers. Fishermen meticulously arrange each crab, ensuring that they are not damaged during transportation. Let's dive deeper into the fishing techniques. Japanese fishermen use specially designed crab cages, usually made of steel or other durable materials. with conical entrances that allow crabs to enter easily but have difficulty escaping. Inside the cages, they place bait. This bait plays a very important role, and each fisherman may have his own secret for the most effective bait. Typically, they use salmon, sardines, or other oily fish that have been chopped or crushed so that the scent spreads well in the water, attracting crabs from a distance. Determining the depth and location of the cage is an art that requires a lot of experience. Dungeness crabs usually live on sandy or muddy seabeds, at depths ranging from a few meters to hundreds of meters, while snow crabs prefer colder waters, often at significantly greater depths. Sometimes up to thousands of meters. Fishermen rely on their experience, combined with detailed nautical charts and modern GPS systems to find hotspots with high crab densities. They also need to take into account water currents and weather conditions to ensure the cages are stable and do not drift. Once the cages are lowered, a marker buoy is attached to the line and floats on the water, making it easy for fishermen to locate the cages when it is time to harvest. Patience is key at this stage, as they have to wait for hours, or even overnight, to give the crabs enough time to find their way into the cages. Once the cages have been lowered into the sea, a calculated wait begins. For Dungeness crab, the soaking period can last from a few hours to a day, depending on the crab density in the area and the catch objectives of each trip. Snow crabs, which live at greater depths and move more slowly, may require longer periods of immersion, sometimes up to several days. During this time, fishermen constantly monitor the weather and sea conditions. A sudden storm or a sudden change in currents can have a major impact on the position of the cages, even causing them to be swept away. They must be prepared to respond to any situation, sometimes having to move the cages to a safer area or adjust the harvest plan. When it is time to harvest, an equally important and physically demanding step is pulling the heavy cages out of the water. Although modern hydraulic winches are used today, this work still requires dexterity and strength. Fishermen must precisely control the machinery to pull the cages up from depths of hundreds or even thousands of meters. Each loop of rope is rolled up, carrying the cages gradually emerging from the deep blue water. The moment the first crab cage emerges from the sea always brings a feeling of extreme excitement. That is when the children of the sea can evaluate the results of many days of hard work. When the crab cage is pulled up to the deck, the first and most important thing that Japanese fishermen do is classify the crabs. This process is not simply to check the quantity, but also to strictly comply with regulations on the conservation of aquatic resources. They will carefully select male crabs that meet the standard size according to regulations. For female crabs, especially those carrying eggs under their bellies, they will be gently returned to the sea immediately. This is a unique and extremely admirable cultural feature in the Japanese fisheries industry. demonstrating a high awareness of protecting the marine ecosystem and ensuring sustainable development for future generations. They understand that indiscriminate fishing will destroy natural resources, and only by protecting them can they continue this traditional profession. The crabs are measured quickly and accurately using a specialized measuring tape. Crabs that are too small or female crabs that do not meet the requirements will be returned to the ocean without being harmed. This ensures that they have the opportunity to grow and reproduce, contributing to maintaining the crab population. Qualified crabs will be moved to the next stage, preliminary cleaning and preservation. Fishermen will use brooms or seawater hoses to clean the dirt on the outside of the crab shells, especially moss or mud. They will then be carefully arranged in specialized containers. These containers are often kept cold with ice or have a seawater circulation system to maintain the natural habitat, helping the crabs stay healthy and fresh throughout the journey back to land. Proper preservation on board is a key factor in determining the quality of the crabs when they reach consumers and later processing plants. Experienced fishermen know that a healthy crab when it arrives at the port is worth much more than a dead or weakened crab. Once the precious crabs are carefully stored on board, the journey back to port is a race against time. Fishermen must ensure optimal speed to get the crabs back to shore as soon as possible, especially when faced with, when the ship arrives at the port, the atmosphere becomes bustling again. The fresh batches of crabs are quickly transported to processing plants or seafood markets. Here, the crabs will go through a closed processing process to ensure food hygiene and safety and preserve their natural flavor. The crabs are thoroughly cleaned again, removing impurities and inedible parts. Depending on the intended use, crabs can be steamed, boiled, or frozen immediately for export. For restaurants or local markets, fresh crabs will be displayed for customers to choose from. And finally, the best thing is to enjoy dishes made from Dungeness crab and snow crab. With sweet, firm crab meat, and delicate flavor, they can be processed into countless attractive dishes. From simple steamed crab to fully feel the natural sweetness, to fragrant grilled crab, or rich crab hot pot and soup dishes. In particular, Kani Suki snow crab hot pot or Dungeness crab grilled with cheese are dishes not to be missed when coming to Japan. Each dish is a delicate combination of fresh ingredients and Japanese processing secrets, bringing an unforgettable culinary experience to diners. The journey of crabs from the sea to the table is a story about the diligence, experience and respect for nature of Japanese fishermen. Hopefully through this video, you have a clearer view of the process of catching and processing these special crabs, as well as feel the value of the gift that the ocean gives. With the unpredictable changes of weather or rough seas, The stability of the ship and the captain's handling skills are key to keeping the crabs from being jolted or damaged throughout the journey. When the port lights gradually appear on the horizon, it is a signal that a successful trip is coming to an end, and work on land will begin. When the ship docks, the atmosphere at the port becomes lively and urgent again. The unloading team is waiting with forklifts and specialized equipment to quickly bring the crates of fresh crabs ashore. This work requires careful coordination to avoid damaging the crabs. From the port, the crabs will be transported immediately to large seafood processing plants, wholesale markets, or directly to high-end restaurants and supermarkets. Depending on the consumer market and purpose of use, the transportation route may vary, but the common goal is to ensure that the crabs arrive in the freshest condition possible. At processing plants, crabs undergo a professional and closed processing process to ensure quality and food safety.